So as you can see, whenever you will first install this piece of software, that is Autodesk Fusion 360, that you can see on the top left corner. So this is our piece of software that will open something like this. And by default, like any other tool, as if you had used SolidWorks, if you had used AutoCAD, by default there is no drawing file open. But whenever you will launch Fusion 360 for the first time, you will be able to see such kind of a screen. Here you can see by default there will be a design file will be always remain open with the name untitled, so it is not being saved till now. So here you can see that's why it says untitled, right? And on the right side you will able to see your account details. Like I told you, it's a cloud based CAD CAM software, because a very small amount of this piece of software installs on your PC, whereas most of the things is being handled inside the cloud. So when I say cloud means you will need an internet to run this piece of software, this Autodesk Fusion 360. As if you guys are updated in the industry, I hope you had uh, if you had already updated in the industry, I hope you guys had came across this word called cloud softwares. So SolidWorks is also upgrading their most of the portion of the softwares onto the cloud. So uh, just a second, guys. So basically it's a cloud based software. That's why that's what I wanted to say. Okay. Just a second. Let me erase. Someone has did the thing. Okay, so as you can see on my screen, whenever you will launch your Fusion 360 software, it will look something like this. And on the right side of your screen, you will able to see your account details that you had used to log in into your Autodesk account. And from there, you can just log in into your Fusion 360 and you will be able to start your software. And on the right side, here you can see this. This is called actually, whenever you will click on this data panel option over here, you will able to see all your datas, like all the projects, all the files, all the folders that you are creating to organize your files and drawings. Because I told you it's a cloud-based software, so we will not be able to save all these files into your local computer. You can export and keep that in your local computer, but by default all of the things is getting saved inside the cloud only, like Dropbox or Google Drive, something like that. So just make sure that all of your data is safe, is completely private. Don't worry about that. If you had activated, whether you are on a student version license or it's on a personal license, your data is completely safe with you. So as you can see in the data panel, the first thing that you, by default, there will be default projects created from the Autodesk company itself. You can see these are the demo projects that is being created by default. And apart from this, there are few more projects that I had created for my personal preferences. So what you can do, you can start with a new project. For example, if I will click on the new project over here, I will have to give it a name. Let's write the Fusion 360 workshop, or you can write anything like for your requirement. Here you can see. I will just write workshop and we are done. I will press enter and my folder has been created. My project has been created. Here you can see. And now all the time, if you want to keep it on the top, I can just pin it. So it will be always on the top. Here you can see. It will be always on the top, but I already had few more pins. That's why it is organizing those projects based on the alphanumeric characters, alphanumeric numbers. Here you can see. So if I will just double click and go inside this project, I will have nothing till now, because I had not created any drawing or anything, right? That's why it's completely empty. Now if I want to save this file, since here you can see the drawing that I had opened is by default is completely empty. So the first thing that I'm going to save this one inside my project folder that we had just created. So I will click on the save over here. And here you can see the location where it is getting saved is inside the Fusion 360 workshop. And here is our project. This means that it is getting saved in the right project folder. So I will just give it a name first. Let's write workshop 1 like that. You can just erase the default thing and you can write workshop 1. And you can give it any name, like if you are creating some automotive part, you can give the name accordingly. So it's completely on to you. Then just click on the save, and the moment you will click on the save, here you can see the file name got updated, and inside the project folder also you will able to see your file got saved, but there will be no preview since your file is completely empty. There is nothing inside this piece of software right now. Now this is one of the most strongest tool inside the industry. And why I said this is because it has lots of features and capabilities. Like it has multiple drawing and design spaces that you, if you want to explore, you can explore that. For example, if I go on to over here, uh, uh, and expand this one, here you can see I got the design workspace, I got the generative design workspace, I got the render workspace, I got the animation workspace, I got the simulation workspace, I got the manufacture workspace, and also I got the drawing workspace. So what does this means? Like in a single tool you will be able to create your complete manufacturing product development process, I will say. So in this single tool you will able to perform your complete product development process. Like you can design your product, you can render your product. Like if you want to create marketing images, good looking images, you can create that. You, if you want to animate that, like how the parts will assemble, how the parts will move together, so you can do that as well. You can simulate those things, like if you want to make it a do a test analysis, like whether it will be able to sustain a particular amount of load or particular amount of stress or not. You can simulate those also by applying certain materials and certain conditions. You can also be able to prepare it for manufacturing. Like if you are from the industry, if you, I hope that you have definitely heard about this tool called uh, CNC codes, CNC machining toolpaths. So those things you can also create inside Fusion 360. So this is the power of Fusion 360, guys. And apart from that, you can also create drawings, like whatever the design files you had created. At the end of the day, you will need the drawing, the PDF files that will be able to read by the workshop people. So that you can also create the technical drawings. I mean, you can also create using this tool. So this is the power of Fusion 360, guys. All of things can just be done inside this single tool, inside this Fusion 360 only. So right now here you can see my design space is completely empty because we have not created anything so far. So, and the data panel, the moment you will feel that the work of the data panel is over, you can just click on this hide data panel again, and you will be able to see your complete design on your full screen, right? And here you can see. Now, it has multiple sections inside Fusion 360. We got multiple sections, like in the top area over here. This is the area where you will be able to see all of your tool. So we can call it tool panel, right? This is a complete tool panel where you will be able to see all of your tools related to different operations. Like you can do solid modeling tools, you can do surface modeling tools, you can do mesh modeling tools, you can do sheet metal operations and designing. If you want to do any plastic operations, like the products related to molding or something like that, you can do over here. Then you got some utilities tool, like how we can prepare your model for 3D printing, how you can analyze these, how you will able to see the section views of your model. So those steps you can do inside the utility section. And this is just inside a single workspace, that is design workspace. So right now our design workspace is active, and inside this workspace we got different features, this kind, all multiple features. And then on the right side you will be able to see your view cube. So view cube is basically to navigate across your 3D model. For example, if you want to see the top view of your 3D model, just click on the top. If you want to see the right side of front view of your 3D model, you will be able to navigate across like that. If you want to go on to the home view position, you can do that. So this way you will be able to navigate across your 3D models from this view cube. Then on the right side, this browser, here you can see it says browser. So this is basically a design tree that is very common. If you are a SolidWorks user, I believe you had already seen this design tree. So whatever the operations or whatever the tools you are using is getting all recorded over here. Like the moment you will create sketch, a sketch folder will be created. The moment you will perform and create any solid model, those folders will be created. The moment you will start creating assemblies, the and mates folders will be created. So this is basically a design tree, and from there we can every steps will be getting saved. And apart from that, at the bottom of this Fusion 360, here you can see this gray panel over here. So this is the area where all of your steps is getting recorded. So that is the added feature inside Fusion 360, and that is the feature over here that will appear. I will, for example, I will just open one of my drawing and I will show you like how the things look like, so you will have a better idea. So here you can see I had just gone inside my folder, I got multiple things, and now for example, let's say I'm opening this this model that we had just worked, I had just worked a few days ago, just a day ago. So here you can see, if I will close the data panel, we will move on to the design workspace. So here you can see at the bottom, these are all called, the history is getting recorded, like all the steps that you are doing inside Fusion 360 to create any 3D models. Is every step is getting recorded, and that is the benefit of having Fusion 360, right? So in any other tool, there is no such features like this. Like if you want to make any edit at any particular steps that I did, like for example, if you want to modify this sketch, you can just come over your this history feature and just double click, and you will able to make edit inside your sketch, and the moment you are done, you can just finish and everything will get updated afterwards. So that's why I call this tool very strongest, guys, very strongest, right? So here you can see, I had just opened this for the example, and by our default folder, the important the actual workshop file is still with nothing. So I will show you some more things over here. Here you can see in the design tree, since we had created lots of sketches, a sketch folder got created. Since we had created lots of other stuff, those all things got created over here, right? So it's basically a tree, like it organizes your components, your parts, your assemblies in the tree. And at the bottom, all of your steps that you had taken to create this complete design is getting recorded. So this is the area from where you can start editing your 3D models, right? And now on the bottom of your screen, if in the center of your screen over here, if I go into the workshop, just a second. Okay, and how you can navigate across your model. So it's guys very simple. For example, if we had 3D models, if I want to zoom in, I can just rotate my mouse scroll wheel, and here you can see I'm in zoom in, zoom out. I can do that. It's very simple, like any other CAD software. Then we got this option called, if I want to orbit, I can just keep pressing my if I want to pan, like if I want to move my model across my space, this is actually called pan tool. So if you want to do that, here you can see the moment I'm pressing my scroll wheel on my mouse, you will be able to see this hand icon. This shows that you will be able to pan your model across your design space, right? And now if you want to do an orbit, like if you want to navigate across your 3D model without using view cube, so how you can do, just press shift on your keyboard, then press middle mouse button like this, and here you can see you will be able to orbit across your 3D model. Just a second, guys. So guys, this way you can do the stuff. Let me check if someone wants to enter into the workshop. Okay, so these are the stuffs we can do, right? And so that makes our works really easy. Like if you want to navigate across my 3D model, I can just press shift and middle mouse button. I will be able to rotate across my 3D model, and I will be able to see it from different angles, views, or like if I want to see it from the bottom, I can see that. If I want to see it from the top, I can see that. So this way I can navigate across my 3D model. This does not mean that I am rotating my 3D model. I am only rotating my camera view, right? I am the person who is going across my 3D model to see my a model from different angles. So this is what we can do. And now here you can see this is a 3D model, right? So this was the basic introduction of Fusion 360, guys, like how the user interface look like, and from there what we'll be able to find, where we'll be able to find all the tools and the other stuffs. Now let's move on to our default drawing. So by default, whenever you will first launch your Fusion 360 and start your first design, the browser tree will look something like this. You will be having this workshop, whatever the name you had given to your design will be over here, like on the top label. Then you will and that will be active. Here you can see this is active component, right? Then you will have the document settings. So if you will expand this document setting options over here, you will be able to control your units. Like if you want to start modeling in some other system of units, for example, if I want to go into units and click on this icon over here, I am able to see all the units type in which we can work on. Like for example, if I want to go into the inches kind of units, I can select that. I can change that. If you want to go into foot, centimeter, so based on your choice of system of measurements, system of units, you can change this stuff. For example, if I want to go on to inches, I can select that. I will click on OK. So you can see units got changed into inches. So, but by default, most of the times I used to work in millimeters. So I will keep it like that. Millimeter is my default unit, right? Now, the next stuff, guys. After that, after this document settings, after this units branch, here you will be able to see another branch called named views. So if I will expand this named views, here you can see I will be able to see the top, front, right, and home, 4 default views. Like from this, we can just navigate across your 3D model. If I will just double click on the top, here you can see my V cube just got rotated and is showing me the view from the top. If I will click on the double click on the right view got updated. So this way you can navigate across your 3D model using this named views. Then we got another folder called origin, and inside this origin folder, if I right now here you can see it's turned off. So if I want to turn it on, I can just click on the eye icon over here, and here you can see it got turned on. Now if I go on to the home position, here you can see we got 3 different axes, default axis, and we got 3 different planes, right? So we got the origin first, that is this point. Then we got the x-axis, that is this axis. Then we got the y-axis, that is the green axis. Then we got the z-axis, that is the vertical blue axis. So the x is red, y is green, and g is blue. Here you can see. Apart from that, we got 3 different planes, like the axis between x and y is called xy axis. The axis between g and y is called yz axis. Here you can see it's getting highlighted as well whenever I am selecting the plane. And here you can see it is xz axis. So by default, we got 3 different axes and 3 different planes to start working onto our any 3D models. So these are the basic branches you will be getting by default whenever you are starting any drawings inside Fusion 360. So let me know, guys, if you have any questions up to this point. Otherwise, just write N in the chat box, so we'll able to see whether you are listening to me or not. Just write N in the chat box if you don't have any questions up to this point. Otherwise, write down your questions. Okay, Fazal, Ron, I can see you don't have any questions. That's really great. So you must have some questions, but anyway, if you don't have any questions, we'll move forward. And that's a good news for me, but maybe it's not a good news for you. So guys, now as you can see, we are into the design workspace. So right now the introduction of the user interface is almost over. I had quickly introduced you like what you can do. Now there are few more stuff, like if you want to save your drawing, you can click on the save. If you want to start a new design, you can just click on the new design, and here you can see the new design got created. If you don't need that, just close it. Also, you can start a new design by just clicking on the plus icon over here. Just click on the plus icon, and here you can see the new design got created. So these are the ways you can start a new drawing. And if there are few more things inside over here, like you can upload any of your designs that you had created earlier inside Fusion 360, you can upload that as well. You can export your models, you can capture image, like whatever the models you had created, if you want to capture it, you can capture that. Apart from that, there is a very cool feature inside Fusion 360 is called share tab. From there you can generate a link that can be completely you can open inside browser. So for example, for this model, if I will go on to this share icon over here, and if I will generate a link using that mod option, here you can see, and here you can see I'm generating a link, and I will just click on over here to generate my link. But I don't want my item to be downloadable, so I will just turn it off. So whoever I am sharing this link, he or she will able to only view my link. So now if I will copy this link from over here, and if I go on to my browser like this, here you can see this is my browser, and if I will paste my link and will press enter, so it will start loading my model. So someone is asking that how do you identify the plane selected is XY or YJ? So just give me a second, I will explain you. It's very simple. So here you can see we had just loaded our model. So we don't need Fusion 360 in that case. If your client do not need Fusion 360, if you want to share it with someone, he or she will able to review his 3D model just in a browser itself. Like if you want to see the exploded view, he can do that, and he will able to see the exploded view. Or if you want to, he wants to do some other steps like like zoom in, zoom out, or other steps, he can do that. He can also control, like if he want to go on to top view, front view, or something like that, or if you want to go on to the component folder and wants to try out and see any other steps, like he wants to see the top view only, so the top view will get highlighted only like this. So this share icon tab is really very helpful, guys, whenever inside the Fusion, we are inside the Fusion 360. So now the question coming is how to identify the plane selected is XY or YJ. So it's very simple. Just select the plane. Here you can see I had selected the plane, and if I expand my origin folder, here you can see the moment I am selecting the plane is getting highlighted. The name is getting highlighted, right? Just select your plane and it's getting highlighted. So this way we can identify that plane is which plane, right? So this way we can do. I hope I had answered your question. If it is good, then just write thanks or T in the chat box. So here you can see. Now we'll move on to here and we'll see what we can do. So by default, the origin was off. So anything, if you want to turn it off, for example, if you want to off this plane, you can just turn it off like this, turn it on, turn it off. So everything you can just visibility of your components, of your branches, you can completely control from this design tree. Like if you want to turn off the complete thing, you can turn off the top label, and whatever inside that will get turned off. So if you are turning off the top label, it will automatically turn off everything that it is containing. So this way we can do that. Now if you are from a mechanical domain or any engineering background, and if you had studied engineering drawing, then definitely you are aware that whatever the things you are going to start as a 3D model, when it's related to mechanical stuffs, it's all starts with a sketch, right? It's all start with a sketch. First we create a sketch of the base feature, then using those sketches we can create 3D models, right? And this same concept works with this Fusion 360 also. So that's why the first tab that we'll able to see is called create sketch tool. Here you can see. So all the time you can start creating your first sketch using this tool. So the moment I will click on the create a sketch tool, the first thing I had to define is the plane, on which plane you want to create a sketch. For example, if I am doing a drawing, so the first thing I had to identify that on which paper I want to create my drawing, and I had to make sure that paper must be flat, right? It must be kept on a table in a well situation, otherwise it will get just tampered. So in the similar manner, once you will start your sketch inside Fusion 360, you had to specify in which plane you want to create your sketch. For example, here you can see whenever I'm moving my cursor onto the planes, it's getting highlighted, like in which plane I want to create my sketch. So let's select this plane, XY plane, to start my first sketch. So I will just hover over to my XY plane and will make a single click. And here you can see. By default, it just I'm able to see that particular plane from the top of the view. So now whatever the sketch you will create is being created on this plane only. So let's say, for example, I want to create a circle. So I will activate the tool over here. Just I will click on the tool to activate. Here you can see the tool got activated. Since in my cursor, the icon got changed, I am able to see a small circle attached to it. This means that circle tool is active. Also, the tool that is being active is all the time highlighted over here inside your tool panel. Here you can see. Also, the moment I had clicked on create a sketch tool and selected the plane, you will be able to see all the new tools. This is all related to sketching, since right now we are into sketch work environment. The moment I had selected that option, by automatically I just got redirected into the sketch work environment. So I had to completely focus on the sketch right now. I don't have to think of the 3D models at this stage. So let's say I'm creating a circle. I will just select the center point of the circle. I will drag outside like this. And whenever I am dragging, it's a dynamic box. You can see that inside this dynamic box, I can put my dimensions. Like if I want to keep the diameter for this circle as 50, I can just write 50 from my keyboard and will press enter. And here you can see, the moment I had pressed enter, a circle of 50 diameter got created, right? So this is called my first sketch. Now if I will click on the home view, here you can see this is the first sketch that I had created on this plane, right? This flat plane. Now to have a better view, what I will do, I will turn off the planes. I will only keep this axis for your better handling and better presentation. Here you can see. So, and all the time guys, if you want to edit these dimensions, that this 50 dimensions that you had just created, here you can see. So all the time, if you want to edit this dimension, just double click, and let's say I don't want 50 at this stage, I want 60. Somehow accidentally I had written 50, so I will just press this new dimension 60 and will press enter. Here you can see it is getting updated instantly, guys. You can see the dimension is getting updated instantly. Also, since we have the first step that we did was to create sketch, here you can see inside the design history that step got recorded, because first step what we are doing, we are creating sketch, right? So the someone is asking like the Amarpreet thing is asking that not able to do emboss on a curved surface, can you help please? Uneven surface. So I think emboss, I had to check whether it is working on the uneven surface or not. Let me show you. Let me check that. But before that, I will just continue this session because this is more inclined towards the other viewers also. So here you can see we had just created a circle of diameter 60 millimeters, and phi is the symbol for diameter. This means it is the diameter. Now, the moment I am done with sketching, let's say I had to create this sketch only, this circle sketch only, and the moment I am done, I can just click on this finish sketch tool over here. I will just click on that finish the sketch tool, and here you can see the tool just finished. Now, using this sketch, we had to convert a 3D model. So how we can do that? It's very simple. To convert any sketch to a 3D model, there is a tool called extrude that you will able to find inside the create panel. So here are different panels, and how to identify that from where you can find your tools. So see guys, anything if you want to create, you will able to find that inside create panel. Anything you want to modify, you will able to find inside the modify panel. For example, I will show you anything if you want to assemble, you will be able to find all those tools related to assembly inside the assemble tool panel. If you want to construct any new planes, new axis or anything, those options you will able to find inside the construct panel. If you want to inspect across your 3D model, all tools related to inspect operations are inside the inspect panel. So these are all different panels inside. There are different tools based on your operations. So I know that in the beginning, when you are just getting started in the tool inside Fusion 360, all these tools are really very confusing, like how we can handle so much. There are so much tools. So the moment you will start exploring the tool, you will start learning the tools, it becomes very easy. It will be very handful for you. Like you will be able to handle any complex 3D models or anything in a just click of your finger, guys. It's very easy. The moment you will start exploring, you will find that this is one of the easiest tool with the simplest user interface. So don't worry about that at this moment. So you can see, so the first thing that I want to create, I want to convert this to 3D model. So for that, definitely we are going to explore the tool inside create panel, and that tool is called extrude tool. So here you can see in front of few of the tools, there are letter givens, like in front of extrude tool, there is a letter shortcut given called E. So that is basically a shortcut. Like if you don't want to go inside your tool panel and activate your tool by clicking over here, you can also activate that by using keyboard keys, right? If you'll just press E, here you can see the extrude tools got activated. So this way you can also do. But my suggestion for you is don't use the keyboard shortcut. Just make sure that all the time you are using this tool panels, and that really helps in developing a habit that is going to help you in any other tools. Like if you want to try some other tools like CATIA, SolidWorks or UZNX. So if you will develop this habit of using this tool panel, that is really going to work for you, because in many tools there is no keyboard shortcuts to activate your tools or something like that. So what I will do, I will go on to create panel, I will activate my extrude tool. And here you can see the moment I had clicked on the extrude tool, a new box just got open, and inside this there are multiple options it is giving me. Right now I want to extrude, so definitely the extrude option is selected. Then the next thing is it is asking me to select the profile. So by default, because in my sketch, in this sketch there was just single profile, and when I say profile, it means the closed area, closed space. So in this sketch there was just single profile, that was the circle. So it is by default, it's already selected. If it is not selected, here you can see I had just deselected it. So what you can do, you can just go inside the area And the moment you will go inside the area, it will get highlighted in the blue. So if you will just click on the area, here you can see it's got selected now. Now you will be able to see an arrow that will be pointing towards forward. So all the time, if you want to orbit it little bit to reorient your view, you can do that just by pressing shift and the middle mouse button. And you can just press arrow, click on the arrow and drag it to give it a 3D shape. Here you can see it's really easy. Now just drag it like this and put your dimensions. Like let's say I want to extrude it by amount 30. So I can just press 30 and will press, and the moment I had pressed 30, here you can see the same distance got updated over here. That this distance you can either put from here, or you can also input that distance from here, like 40, like that. Here you can see it's getting updated. And the moment I am done, I can just press OK. There you can see we had just created our first 3D model inside Fusion 360. It's a very basic shape, but still we had, what the process what we followed, we had created a sketch first, basic sketch, and then we had used that basic sketch to create a 3D model. So, and the 2 steps that we had followed and is also recorded in the bottom. Here you can see the first history is the sketch, the second history is the extrude operation that we had just performed. So I think that is helpful up to this point. Any questions, guys? I can see few advanced questions are coming, like someone is asking, Muhammad Saim Kamar is asking that can I make a spring that has a varying diameter? Yes, definitely we can do that. But I'm not going to show you in this webinar because this is more inclined towards the basic operations. Like Jaya Karyathi is asking, how do you check whether the models created not moved below the y-axis? Okay. It's a very important question, guys. See, whenever you are working inside a 3D model, it's not really important like at which level you are creating the 3D model. For example, here you can see, since if I will turn off the model, here you can see one more thing. The moment I had created 3D model, a new folder just got created below our origin folder. It's called bodies. Inside that you will be able to see your body. Here you can see, and below body folder there is also one folder more got created. It's a sketch, and if I expand this folder, I will be able to see my sketch. Here you can see the circular sketch. If I am turning it off and turning it on, you can see the sketch, right? So every time when you will add any features to your 3D model, a new folder will get created and those also being updated. Now back to the question, like how to check whether the models created not move below the y-axis. So see, in the beginning, when I was creating a sketch, the first thing what I did was I had selected a plane to start my sketch, right? And the what plane I had selected this plane, XY plane, and that's the XY plane. Here you can see. And since I had selected that plane, at the moment I had made sure that it is not going below that particular axis. And if even it is going below the axis, that's not a problem. That's completely fine because we are inside a 3D work environment and we got all all complete space around us. Like if let's say you are in an origin, you can move your hand towards top, towards bottom, towards right, towards left, in any way. In the similar manner in 3D model, if you want to create 3D model inside your drawing or design space, you are completely free to create a 3D model in any of the direction. For example, in this model I had created towards upward, right? I had extruded towards upward. So you can say that we are into positive direction of the axis. Now, if I will change, I will just make a right click on the operation that I had performed. I will just make a right click and we click on the edit feature. And now if I will drag it towards the bottom, I can do that. That's completely fine. I just had to put the minus sign in front of it, minus 30, like that. So it's completely fine. There is no issue with that we had to fix the space and we had to do all our modeling in the positive spaces only. There is nothing like that. Like a person, like we are free to move our hand, legs anywhere inside the space. In the similar manner, we can do the things. Like now, the next question is asking is like, will it be an issue when you will print the model? Definitely not. Definitely 100% not. It's completely onto you, like how we can prepare our model for printing. There is no link with the origin. If I will turn off the origin at this moment from here, how you can say that? Like, where is the origin? What reference I had used? Whether you will able to say that, like, which is the top or which is the bottom? Now you can say that? No, you cannot say that because the origin is just given you for the reference. Like you can use this origin for the reference. Like if you are creating any symmetrical model having two sides symmetric, then it is going to help. But In case of normal models or anything, even in the symmetric model, this origin is not very helpful. So it is just for a reference. So we'll have an idea like we are into the center of our design space, whereas you are free to create your 3D model anywhere across your space. For example, okay, I think that I had answered your question. Now, here you can see, let's just press Control G to move back to again this to top. So guys, Control G again works in this software also, like it works on any other software across the space, across the internet. So Control is Z is the key to undo the things, and Control Y is same thing to redo the things. So you can completely control those steps. Now, here you can see we have just created this model. Now let's add few more features. For example, I want to add some cut on the top. So how we can do that? Again, I told you everything starts with a sketch. So again, we had to create a sketch. So the moment I had selected a sketch, it is asking me to select the plane. So this time, instead of selecting any default planes, I mean X, Y, YG or those planes, what I will do, I will select this top plane as a sketch plane. So here you can see, the moment I had created that top plane as a sketch plane, we are just into the top plane is ready to create a sketch. So now this plane is acting as a paper. Now I can create my sketch. This time I will go on to create panel. I will go on to rectangle tool, center rectangle tool. I will activate my center rectangle tool. Here you can see, and I will select the center and will create a rectangle like this. Now I just need to specify the dimension of this rectangle. I mean the width and the height of this rectangle, sorry, length and the width of this rectangle. So I can just write 20 and we'll press tab to move on to the other box, right? Again, we'll write 20 or maybe 25, something like that. And the moment I will press enter, here you can see, I had just created a rectangle like this on the top of this cylinder, right? And since we are done with this shape, what I can do, I can just click on the finish the sketch and I will again activate my extrude tool. Here you can see, I'm again activated my extrude tool. I will select this profile this time and I can drag it towards bottom if I want to make a cut, right? Here you can see I'm making a cut. Just give a dimension of 10. And the moment I will press OK, here you can see operation, we had to select cut. And the moment I will press OK, here you can see we had just made a cut. It's simple, guys. It's very simple. So we had just made a cut, right? This. So this way we can add features across our 3D model. So this was here you can see, and all those operations that we had performed, because the first sketch that we had created was the base sketch. Then we had created this extrude. Then we had created another sketch. Then we had created cut like that. So all is being recorded in this feature. Now, if I want to add my name on this face, how we can do that? So that's really easy. Again, for that, again, you have to create a sketch. Let's activate the sketch, activate your create a sketch tool. So this time I will select this front plane as a sketch plane. So the moment here you can see the plane are all got hidden behind the sketch. So how we can do that? I will first turn off the body. Then I will select this front plane on which I want to create my sketch. Here you can see. Now my front plane is active to create a sketch. Now I will turn on my body's back again. And here I'm going to write some text. So I will go on to my create panel. I will activate my text tool like this. I will create a text box and will start writing some text. For example, sample or fusion like this. And then I will press OK. And then I will right click on the sketch. Here you can see, I will just double click on my sketch and I will try to move this sketch a little bit. Turn off the body again. Make it little bold. Decrease the size of the text. Maybe 6. There you can see. Now we can move this text. So I will turn on my body. I will make sure that it's we are on the right side. And here you can see we have just created this text. Now I want this text to be embossed on this cylindrical diameter, right? So how we can do that? So we'll click on the finish the sketch first. We'll go into create panel. We'll activate my emboss tool. Here you can see this is called emboss tool. So it's a special tool to create any text engraved on your surface. So I will activate my emboss tool. The first thing it is asking me to select the profile. So definitely this sketch is my profile. Then the face on which you want to emboss. So this is my face. And whether you want to be extruded from the face or extrude cut from the face. So I will make extrude cut. Here you can see. And the moment I will press OK, boom, we had just created something embossed on our curved feature like this. It was really easy. Now, some more question is coming like, okay, so someone is asking Jikiarthi. Actually, I cannot pronounce your name. I'm really sorry. You are asking that how do you select plane that is y distance upward from the top of the current surface model? Yes, definitely we can do that. That's really good question. So just give me a second. Here you can see. So the moment we had created, now the next question coming is how we can create any new plane to create anything. That's really easy. Go on to, I told you there is different tools inside different tool panels. For example, to create any different plane, there is a tool inside the construct panel over here. So I can offset planes, right? I can activate the offset plane. Let's say I want to offset this plane. So you will be able to offset only flat planes, guys. You will not be able to offset any other planes like curved planes or something. You will be able to offset only flat planes. So I had selected this tool. I will offset this plane, let's say by 5 mm, and we'll press enter. Here you can see. So what we did, we had created a new reference plane. Here you can see to start working. You can say we had created a new paper that is offset from 5 mm. Now, if I will create new sketch on this plane, here you can see. So whatever I will create on this plane right now, if I will activate my polygon tool, and if I will create any polygon like this, here you can see. So what I did, I had created a new polygon and a new plane. And the moment I'm done with the sketch, I can just click on the finish the sketch. I can just extrude that like this. Here you can see. It's in a different space. So this way we can do that, guys. So it's really easy. Now let's move on to our next thing that that we had planned for this workshop today. So here you can see we had just created the 3D model, and all the time you can update your 3D models. For example, you're not happy with the text height, this text height, I mean the text size, you can just go on to the operation that you had used to create your sketch. For example, I had used this sketch tool to create this text. So I will just go on to that option. I will make a right click on the edit sketch, and I will just double click on my text just by turning off my bodies. So we'll be able to double click on my sketch. I will change the size, let's say 10, and I will press OK, and I will click on finish sketch. And here you can see all text size, all operations just got updated in just single click, just in a few simple clicks. So this way we can just easily, and you can do fast things inside Fusion 360. So let me check what were the agenda for this workshop today. So we are not missing something. Just give me a second. Okay, so I can see we had learned about how to create 3D models, how to edit your 3D models. And we had also learned about how to apply different design features. For example, we can create hole. If I will activate the hole tool, and if I want to create a hole on this face, I can just select the face, and then I will specify the size of my hole. Here you can see. Also, we can control the hole types, like we want counter bore hole, we can select that. We can completely control the size of the hole also. Like I don't want the diameter, I would just want to 10, then I can just change that. And here you can see it's getting updated. And the moment I will press OK, here you can see I had created a hole quickly. So for all features, you got different tools. Someone was asking how to create a spring. So let me do that. For that, there is a tool called spring. Here you can see this coil. I will activate that. First thing, I have to define the base plane onto which I want to create a spring. So let's say I want to create a spring on this face. So I will select that face. I will select the origin of my spring, then like this. Then here you can see it's giving me a spring. I will make it as a new body, not as a cut. Here you can see. So this way we can create springs also, like, right? And that can be completely controlled, guys. The size, the features, and everything. You just had to come over here and had to start playing with the steps. Like if you want to change the angle to 10 degree, if you want to change the angle to 5 degree, here you can see like this you can do. Let's say make it 45 or something. So I think this answers your question. Like someone asking like whether we can make a spring with the varying diameter or not. So this way you can create a spring with varying diameter using this feature tool. So just check the tools, like what are the tool options we had, because it's not possible to cover everything inside this quick workshop, 1 hour workshop, but still I'm trying to put as much information I can into this workshop. So here you can see we are just able to create this spring workshop, spring kind of thing, right? Now, so now next agenda was like how to export your 3D models for 3D printing. So that's really important, guys. To export your 3D model, the first thing for 3D printing, basically, because 3D printing is a process where you can use to create a real object of your 3D model, and that must be solid, right? So first thing, you have to make sure that once you will expand your bodies folder, you will be able to see this icon. So this cylindrical icon shows that whatever the objects you had created is completely solid. For example, this body 1 is completely solid, this body 2 is also completely solid, even this spring is completely solid. And when I say solid, this means that here you can see from section, here you can see this is completely solid, right? So also this way you have to make sure that this cylindrical icon is visible over here, and your models that you had created is completely solid. And if it is solid, then you can export that for the 3D printing. And how you can do that? Just select the body that you want to export it for 3D printing. For example, let's say select the body 1, make a right click on save as the mesh. So what it will do, it will convert your parametric model into a mesh model. So the moment I will click on the save as a mesh, add to format, definitely I want to export it as a STL file format, because 3D printing is only able to understand file in the STL file format. So here you can see, now I will just press OK. Now the next step I had to do is I had to specify the place where I want to save my file. For example, if I want to save my file into my 3ds Academy folder, I can just select that. I can give it a name as well. Let's write cylinder, like that. Okay, and I will press save, and done. It's got exported. And if I go into my folder, there you can see, if I'm just moving on to my folder, just a second, guys. Here you can see this is my folder, and here we got our STL file cylinder. Here you can see the file size is 234 KB and the file format is STL. So this way you can export your final designs or drawing into any folder as for 3D printing. So this file is completely ready for 3D printing. You just need to use your slicer software, I mean 3D printing slicer software, and you can prepare the G code ready for 3D printing. So that's the process, guys. So I hope it's clear to all of you. Any questions coming from the audience? Anyone, if you want to ask anything, just go ahead, because we are just going to the end of this workshop. So any questions coming, guys, please ask. Someone is asking, could you please share with us some tutorials that we can practice Fusion 360? So guys, there are lots of free, I will say free resources available on the internet to learn Fusion 360, because the community is very big for this I will say this software, because this software is growing exponentially. It's replacing lots of other softwares, big softwares like SolidWorks and other into the company, because the workflow that you will be able to get in this software is really easy. You can do almost every stuff just in a single piece of software. You'll be able to do design, analysis, programming for CAM and 3D printing. So all of those stuffs you can do in this software only. You don't have to buy or install multiple softwares to perform your product design cycle. But still, if you want to learn the software, I also run a channel with a name. Here you can see. If you will move on to the channel, it's mostly related to the mechanical stuffs. I'm creating lots of contents related to 3D printing, mechanical engineering, and other stuffs like CAD modeling. So you will be able to find the playlist related to your choice. For example, I had lots of tutorial related to Fusion 360 as well. Like if you want to practice Fusion 360, I got different kind of tutorials that you can check. What I will do, I will just drop the YouTube link into the chat box. So if you want to explore, you can do that. And then again, someone is asking that whether we can get the recording of the today's videos or not. So I used to do, I used to upload all the recordings onto my YouTube channel also. So you'll be able to find those recordings. For example, few days earlier, I had performed a workshop on AutoCAD. So that complete session is just on my YouTube channel. Here you can see. So in the same manner, in the same in the same process, I will do this for this recording also. So you will be able to find the links. Apart from this, if I also host paid courses and workshops, like for complete Fusion 360 training, here is my course on the website that you will be able to find inside the course library, that you can also check it out. So it's actually a 5-day workshop where I will be training you on 2 hours each day with the complete AutoCAD, and that will be we are going to also practice lots of CAD modeling stuffs. We're going to practice lots of practical 3D models, like 3 or 4 practical 3D models that will help you enhance your Fusion 360 skill. And someone is asking that, can you calculate bending moment, shear stress, moment of inertia of a given beam on Fusion 360? Yes, it's completely possible. So I will show you, for example, for this body one, here you can see, if I will go on and check the properties, here you can see, you will be able to see all of your information that you are asking. For example, the first thing you are asking is bending moment. So the bending moment is only possible to calculate inside when you will perform the stress analysis, when you will perform the analysis of your part inside the simulation workspace. Here you can see the moment I'm activating the simulation workspace, it's all related to study. Like if you want to do stress analysis, some other thermal analysis, shape optimization, or other analysis related stuff, you can do inside that. But if you are inside the model workspace, what you can do, you can just select your model, make a right click, select the properties, and here you can see, you will be able to see the moment inertia of your 3D model. You will be able to see the center of mass of your 3D model. You will be able to see the mass. You will be able to see the volume, density. All these stuffs are available over here. But before that, what you have to do, you have to make sure that your properties, physical material properties, are correct. So just click on the physical material properties. Just select your model, make a right click, and here you can see you have to update your correct material properties. Then you will be able to find the right information. For example, if I will apply some aluminum material for this part, there you can see. Now if I will check the properties, I will just close it. I will check the properties, and now these stuffs are related to aluminum. Like this mass is related to aluminum right now. So these are the properties we can quickly check and perform inside SolidWorks, right? It's really easy. Any more question, guys, coming from the audience end? And I will be hosting lots of more workshops in the coming days. So guys, just be yes. So you are asking that would you offer a session on simulation and stress analysis? Yes, we do offer a simulation on offer a session on simulation and stress analysis, but for that we had a separate I will say separate instructor, but the session is completely hosted by us only, but the instructor will be different. He's doing his PhD into these stuffs related to mechanical engineering, and he will be your teacher if you want to check out our stuff on simulations or stress analysis or any analysis related stuff inside Fusion 360. Okay, any more questions? No, guys, those sessions are not free because those are advanced sessions, and definitely you had to buy our premium courses, paid courses, I will say. Any more questions, guys? And one more thing, guys, like I want to show you my portfolio, like what are the things I had done inside Fusion 360. So you can see this is my portfolio, and if I will expand some of my industrial design projects, this is just for an inspiration, for your inspiration. Like if you want to start your journey, you can check this out. There you can see these are the models that I had just created inside Fusion 360. So those look maybe for you it looks a little bit complex, but once you will start spending time on the software, it's really easy. You can do these steps also, right? It's really easy. So all the time you are welcome to check out my website. I will be keep posting similar stuff, similar workshops. So just be updated, just be active in the group also, WhatsApp group that I had just created, and all the time and in the group you can post your queries or questions. If you have any, I will try to answer them. So I think this is the end of our workshop. Whatever that we had planned for this workshop, we got it covered. And if you have anything related to any questions related to this workshop after this session also, you can just ask me. So thank you, guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming. I am very thankful for your time. So we'll see you in the next coming workshop. Thank you so much, guys. Now we can just finish it up. Just leave.